Hey there, YouTube. Look at this. I've made it to the state I'm going to be in for a while. Should be great. Let's go ahead and take one of your questions. All right. I have a silly question, and I totally understand if it's not worth a response. I have never thought I had small hands in particular, but with both my 5-inch M&P and my recently acquired Shadow 2, I cannot operate the mag release without breaking my grip to some extent. I wanted to add an extended mag release to my Shadow 2 before realizing that would kick me out of Carry Optics. Do you have this problem on any guns you compete with? Um, yes and no. Yes and no. Uh, I would say I have this problem on literally, like literally every gun that I shoot. So, like here on the 2011 Atlas Athena, I with my hand in firing position, I cannot. I can touch the button, but I cannot release the magazine. Okay. I'm just going to go through all the models I have with me. Staccato HD. Cannot. You can see here, I can touch the button, can just touch, but I cannot quite get pressure on it. We've got Glock 47 here. I cannot. I can touch the button, maybe press it a little, but I can't do it. My hand gripping the gun, the way that I'm going to shoot it, I cannot engage the mag release. I can just barely if I have to like relax my fingers, just barely touch it. Okay. Now, before I get into the actual answer for this, I'm going to read the response to your question. You got a response on it. He has and doesn't care that he has to shift his grip around to get it. At least 2 videos that info on reaching controls. Yeah, that's true. All right. But I want to talk about this anyway because there's a larger principle at play here. All right. And let me tell you what it is. First, what matters as far as fitting the gun to your hand, I would pay attention to 2 things. And these things are like basically non-negotiables, right? These are the things you must pay attention to. And I would say the surface area of like this void. So if I just grasp the gun in my dominant hand, we see this void here. There needs to be enough space that I can connect my support hand to the gun, right? So if it's small, if it's like I have this much space, for example, like I can't get my hand, it's my hand holding my hand. That's going to be a problem. I'd need to put a bigger back strap on so my fingers would fall like this so I can actually connect to the pistol. Okay, that's important. The other thing that's really important is the measurement, back strap to face of the trigger. Okay, that's going to be important as well. Like you need to be able to effectively reach the trigger to pull it, or you're going to have a problem, like kind of obviously. But people try to like get around that stuff or just like technique their way around it, and that's not stuff I would do. Like for these 2 measurements, as far as fitting the gun to your hand, you have to be like somewhat close. And if it's a double action gun, like both the double and single action position of the trigger have to be considered, right? And these are the 2 measurements that I'd pay attention to when fitting the gun. All right. Now, the stuff that I'm not mentioning or that I'm not really paying attention to is reaching the other controls on the gun, namely the magazine release and the slide stop. Okay. I don't think that stuff to me is a side dish. It's not a huge deal. Like I just demonstrated, I don't shoot a pistol. I don't think I own a pistol that I can actually, without shifting my hand around, dump a magazine out of the gun. All right. That's not really important to me because I can use technique. And what I do is since I keep my dominant hand a little looser than most, it's easy for me to just relax my fingers, flex my thumb around the gun, and then relax my hand again. The new mag goes in, and I'm right back up on target. Let's say you can't reach the slide stop. Well, you can always hit it with your non-dominant hand, for example. So there's like technique ways around these things, um, but there's not much you can do if the other elements of the fit of the gun are a problem. All right. Uh, That's like the kind of the philosophy thing that's at play here. Now, the other thing that I see that I think is a problem is when people put on the extendo mag buttons because they feel like they need to be able to dump the magazine without breaking their grip, which like that's not a stupid thought. Like that's nice, I suppose, but not in any way necessary. But anyway, like people extend that button out and make it so big that then they have to be careful not to hit it and inadvertently dump the magazines. And it's like that kind of stuff is that also like that's an absolute no-go in my book. Like I wouldn't like my guns set up that way. When I see guns that are set up that way, if people make like a little mistake with where they put their hand, they're dumping the mag on the ground. Like that stuff is not so good. So I don't think that this guy's question is really silly or stupid. I think it's a pretty good question. And in kind of hearing the rationale, I think it makes more sense. So don't worry about reaching the mag release or the slide stop. Worry about the surface area void that you have for your dominant hand or for your non-dominant hand. Pay attention to the reach of the trigger, backstrap to trigger face, that measurement, and those things need to work for you. Reaching the other controls comfortably is kind of a side dish. And then again, make sure that you don't set up the controls to be so accessible that you are inadvertently hitting them. That also, big, big problem. Hope you guys find it helpful.